Good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Jessica Blum here, joining you from the 1011 Now Alert Center. We had a little bit of snow this morning, talking about the latest forecast. That was only expected to be one of 3 consecutive rounds as we go through this upcoming weekend. And then our reward for seeing these little teases of snow occasionally through that time period will be warmer weather to start out the month of February. So getting into it, the details you need to know about this next snow is that it'll be pretty similar to what we saw today and throughout this morning, kind of impacting areas of the morning commute. I know today, in and around the 8 o'clock hour, we had visibility drop below a mile at times in the capital city with that light snow coming down, and it did produce a little moisture. I'll show you how much that ended up being for the Lincoln area. But into Friday, expect much of the same. I think we could see even a little bit less snow in Lincoln. It'll be more so adding for those areas in central Nebraska. And then by Friday afternoon, we'll have some clearing skies, but it will be bitterly cold with highs only in the teens on Friday and a kind of a blustery north wind, I think, picking up as those skies are clearing out. High pressure kind of settles in and really going to set us up for a cold morning into Saturday before potential for a more light snow, I think, Saturday into Sunday. So it may be the third of all 3 of these rounds where we pick up the most snow. But even in saying that, the total from all these rounds is not very much for any one location, including us here in Lincoln. Just kind of keep that in mind. We are only getting little bits by little bit by little bit, it seems like, in terms of the setup we've had. No real shot at any winter storms coming in the near future. Looking farther out, maybe the middle of February we're kind of looking at, but models by that time of the month do not know what they're doing and certainly have not come to one conclusion, so we're not even going to talk about that. We're just going to get you ready for Friday, this weekend, and some warmer weather around the corner. And in speaking about that, that's really my weather headlines for you this evening as I join you just after 8 o'clock, January 29th. There are only a couple days left to the month. We are going to be colder tomorrow and especially into Saturday morning, talking about some blustery winds at times. Especially the second part of Friday, maybe picking up out of the north and northeast around 20 to 30 miles an hour. Light snow will be possible, especially tomorrow morning. And then I think Saturday night into Sunday, or second part of Saturday into Sunday, looking at that time frame. And then the warmer weather next week, especially building in some of those warmer temperatures by the end of next week as we get through the first handful of days of February or so. So, as we talk about February being right around the corner, spring is that much closer. I wanted to point out after I saw a post from Megan Conway, our morning anchor, that it's great to point out that we are only 50 days away from astronomical spring. If you want to count meteorological spring, of course, we love to count meteorological spring, and that is only 31 days. If you're wondering what the difference between those two are, astronomical spring is the start of spring based on the Earth's tilt and everything like that. With the timing of the year, meteorological spring is kind of begins with the beginning of the month, and we have these cycles of months based on our temperatures really kind of dictating that. So our winter months meteorologically run from December, January, and February, and then spring will be March, April, and May, and then we'll get into summer. Hard to say. I didn't think I was going to bring up the word summer in this live stream tonight, but spring isn't that far away. 31 days, or astronomical spring is only 50 days away. We are on a Thursday, which is when the Drought Mitigation Center releases a new drought monitor map. This is last week, and you can see there has been large areas of central, northeast Nebraska, and western Nebraska, at least in moderate drought, if not in severe drought, from Scottsbluff kind of persisting in the Panhandle. They have had quite the snow season of really having absolutely nothing. I was just out in Sydney seeing my friend and her new baby for the first time, and when I came out there, that was almost their first snow of the season, so I was out there as baby was seeing her first snow ever, and it was just impressive to me that we're this late in the winter season, especially for western Nebraska, and they've seen next to nothing. And of course, snow isn't going to do a lot for drought conditions, but it will add a little bit of moisture. It's just impressive how low they've been running for season totals. I may work on a map for that coming up maybe tomorrow. There are maps out there that we can put together to show you kind of the season and where it's running compared to average. Whether that's a feet or 2 feet, it might be that much out in western Nebraska. But this is last week's map compared to this latest map released this morning. You can see areas of moderate drought have expanded in southwestern Nebraska through Cozad, kind of Lexington area, Kearney as well. If you weren't already, you were kind of on the edge of that, but now you're fully in the moderate drought. So our drought conditions do continue to worsen a bit, and not expecting that to get all that better anytime soon. Winter is kind of a season where we don't see a lot of improvement to the drought condition, but if we don't see a lot of rain in the spring, this may get worse before summer is here. So something to keep in mind. Your weather almanac for the day today. We did have temperatures in the lower 20s for a high. That is below average. But our temperatures in the teens this morning for a low, pretty average for this time of the year. I will point out we did see 2/100ths of an inch of snow at the Lincoln Airport. That did amount to about 5/100ths of an inch, or 5/100ths. Did I say that right? 2/10ths of an inch of snow, 5/100ths of an inch of total precipitation when you melt all that down. So not a bad ratio. Some good liquid content for the amount of snow, in my opinion. But we are still running below average in terms of a season snowfall, below average in terms of total snowfall for January. So this 0.2 adds to January's total. It's still under an inch in total, but I think through our next couple snows, we'll get above an inch in total for the month of January. Normal through this time is about 6 inches, so we're running below average by about 5 inches, and that's just for January. For the season, we're below average by about a half a foot, if not a little bit more than that. Low temperatures across the state in Nebraska this morning did fall to the teens for everyone except a handful of locations in the Panhandle. Alliance, Chadron, Scottsbluff, Sidney, you all fell to the lower 20s. Nothing worse. Everyone else was in the teens for a pretty seasonal start to January 29th. And then high temperatures in eastern Nebraska didn't warm all that much. Again, we had a lot of cloud cover. It was nice to see some peaks of sun here and there, but clouds, some light snow in the morning, certainly keeping us colder, but close to 50 degrees in Imperial. And in fact, some of those warmer temperatures out west have been warm enough to complicate what precipitation is falling. North Platte, not long ago, when I was pulling up these Skyview cameras, had water droplets on the lens. Yes, it has been raining, or at least spot showers in areas of western Nebraska for a brief time, whereas in a lot of other locations you see snow on the ground. It is cloudy for us all at this point at 8:14 at night. Here in the capital city, our temperature at the studio matches the airport at 22 degrees, but we do have a wind chill of 16 with a northeast wind under 10 miles per hour. Visibility has improved. Again, it was only diminishing as the snow was falling through about the 11 o'clock hour, and then we saw the visibility improve into the noon hour if you joined Bill for our noon show, and it's been back to normal ever since, but we'll likely see those visibilities drop again. Maybe it's for tomorrow morning's commute, kind of the same timing. Maybe not in Lincoln, though. We're going to be on the edge of some of that snowfall potential, and if we see much, it's not going to be much, but again, enough to maybe create a few slick spots, but just winter driving conditions that we're all used to, especially by this point in the season. Temperatures across the city around 22, 23 degrees, not much variation there. In southeast Nebraska, not much variation there. 19 degrees in this far southeast corner of the state for Auburn, Pawnee City, Nebraska City, Falls City. Again, Lincoln's at 22, Omaha's at 21, warmest in Hastings and Red Cloud at 25 degrees. As you expand with me and look across the state, still 40 in Ogallala. Not a bad evening out there, but as you see these temperatures, no wonder rain is falling when it's still 40 degrees at the surface. You've got winds that are anywhere from the east to the northeast to the west. Nobody's recording a southwest wind, but you can see they're variable in direction, but rather light. So at times the wind chill may be a little bit colder, especially in eastern Nebraska. Still in the double digits, but I think we'll have wind chill a little bit tomorrow morning with some of the cloud cover and some of the colder air settling back in for much of Friday, even though we will see the cloud cover clear the second part of the day. But as you look at the last 4 hours, still some areas of snow showers, especially north of I-80 from Broken Bow up through almost Valentine, through Cherry County. And then you see those green blips. Yeah, out towards North Platte. Let me stop this and back this up. Maybe if this wants to cooperate. There we go. 624 North Platte, a little shower run through, and that's probably why I saw some water droplets on the Skyview camera. But the rest of us are cold enough to see snow survive to the ground. That being said, again, going to have a chance for snow tonight into tomorrow morning. It is not going to be much. If you joined me last night, Skycast was not showing much in the way of coverage. You saw some blue show up here and there. But I think snow coverage may be just a little bit better than what Skycast is showing for that. A lot of us in areas of eastern central Nebraska see a couple tenths of an inch of snow, if not a little bit more, through the first part of the day. But then you notice the high pressure building in and really pushing the cloud cover to clear out in much of central and eastern Nebraska. So we will see the sun for a good part of tomorrow. But a north wind picks up as well as we see the sun, and I think it'll be a cold, sunny type of day when you're only talking about highs in the teens. And then let's talk about the first part of your weekend. So this is Saturday morning by 10 a.m. The next disturbance is actually going to track along the Canadian border up north, and it's going to drag a cold front from west to east across the state. And models right now are showing enough moisture around that cold front and enough forcing that you see some darker blues with at least this latest version of Skycast, one of our in-house models, showing maybe a good snowfall rate as this band is tracking eastward throughout the morning. This is the afternoon, pushing through areas of central and almost northeast Nebraska, or up through O'Neill, but those blues are looking fairly dark. Still not in eastern Nebraska, so much of Saturday I think is quiet, kind of cloudy. There we go. There's some snow now pushing into eastern Nebraska through Lincoln toward Omaha, so we may be waiting on snow showers on Saturday until the evening hours, and then just warm enough, I think, behind that initial band that there could be some rain mixing in areas of north central Nebraska, maybe even northeast Nebraska. A little snow tries to continue to push through eastern Nebraska with another band late Saturday night into early Sunday. And then that's pushing out by Saturday mid-morning. Should be about wrapped up. And then we will still see some cloud cover, especially in eastern Nebraska, through the first part of the day, if not a good portion of Sunday. But let's break that down, because we just went through Skycast for about the next 3 days. So as for our snowfall forecast for Friday, up through Friday night, talking about much of eastern, south central, western Nebraska, traced to half an inch, and half an inch is probably overdoing it. Half an inch to 2 inches in north central Nebraska, where they may see several scattered snow showers track through from the morning to the afternoon, kind of wrapping up similar to yesterday. So this is one of our longer range models, kind of showing you past that time frame. This is going into Saturday. So maybe a couple tenths here in Lincoln. I don't hate that outcome for us throughout Friday and what we see from, or potentially see, kind of the higher range maybe, I don't think we see a lot here in Lincoln is what I'm saying. But then as we go through Saturday, and it's really the morning, afternoon into the evenings, now, as we're tracking that next band pushing through, it's dropping totally another inch to 2 inches for a lot of us by the time all is said and done through Saturday morning. So we're not talking about a lot of snow, but a lot of us through the time period of, Friday through early Sunday morning could be seeing half an inch to an inch to 2 inches to add another coating of snow on the ground and keep us a little bit colder for Saturday afternoon before I think a lot of that's going to melt off on Sunday, and it should help us then, once it's melted, warm up beyond that. So your Schaefer's Lincoln forecast for tonight, by midnight, we're right around 20 degrees, mostly cloudy, maybe a few flurries. Better chance of any scattered snow showers will be tomorrow morning, similar to what we saw today. A low of about 9 degrees in the capital city, with afternoon temperatures only warming to about 15 degrees. Will be partly cloudy. Should be actually mostly clear, I think, by this time with some more sunshine in the afternoon as that high pressure is building in, but it will be cold. Now we're going to look at the state view of the forecast low and high temperatures going forward in time. And in here I have some wind chills mixed in too, so you know what it feels like. So tomorrow morning, low temperatures could be in the single digits for a lot of us in far eastern Nebraska. Let's look at the wind chill. By tomorrow morning, I think some of us could be feeling around 0, if not 5 below, maybe closer to 10 below in northeast Nebraska, closer to the Missouri River. So not bad, but noticeably colder than we've been some of the past couple mornings. Then by Friday afternoon, we are warming to the teens, but you remember me talking about the blustery wind kind of picking up? I think our wind chill could be close to 0 for what it feels like, if not a few degrees below 0 for the warmest portions of tomorrow afternoon. Then my Saturday morning, that'll be the coldest morning we look at with actual air temperatures below 0. We've got a forecasted low of -5 here in Lincoln, -6 in Columbus, York, and Ord. And when you factor in a little wind Saturday morning, I think a lot of us in eastern, maybe even in central Nebraska, are running around 10 to 20 below for a wind chill as we're waking up for the first part of the weekend. Now, temperatures will climb to about 20 degrees, but it will be chilly again, I think, for much of Saturday. Outside of the Panhandle, looking balmy with temperatures in the 50s, but we'll get there soon enough. Look at our warm-up from Saturday into Sunday. High temperatures will be in the 40s, maybe close to 60 degrees in southwest Nebraska, but I cannot wait for the 40s, and we only look to warm up, I think, through the course of next week, and especially late next week looking warmer. So that's through your weekend. Groundhog Day is on Monday, if you didn't know. But 30s and 40s look pretty common beyond Sunday. So those morning low temperatures getting better too and above average. So we go from cold, some snow chances through the weekend to warming up and a lot more tolerable next week. It's nice because Bill and Brad worked on putting in some little extra details in the 7 days so you know when those snow showers are each day. If you didn't totally track along with me, hopefully I did a decent enough job through Skycast that you knew what was coming when. But we'll have morning showers, snow showers scattered across central and eastern Nebraska on Friday. Then late snow showers for us in Lincoln from Saturday into early Sunday. But it will get warmer the second part of Sunday, warming up to the 40s. So I wouldn't be surprised if some areas try to mix in some rain on the back end of some of that snow as it's wrapping up on Sunday. Beyond the next 7, as you look at the 10-day forecast, yes, we do get closer to 50 degrees by the end of next week. 47 on Thursday, 50 on Friday, upper 40s to begin next weekend. Models have been trending a little bit cooler with that, but I think we're looking at some milder weather finally and sticking around for the first part of February. We also, in a live stream in this evening time frame, love to look at your 8 to 14-day precipitation and temperature outlook. Right now, as we go from the 6th to the 12th, we don't have a good signal of any above or below average precipitation, kind of equal chances at everything, whether that be normal, below, or above. So if that doesn't make sense, there's not really a strong signal for anything is basically what I'm saying. But there is a signal for above average temperatures to continue from the 6th through the 12th, and especially for western Nebraska and areas toward the Rockies. So in the near future, what I want you to take away is that Friday, I think we'll start out kind of similar to what we did today, but some of those snow showers I think have shifted a little bit further west to impact areas of central Nebraska. We will have clearing skies by tomorrow afternoon. It'll be a cold day with highs only in the teens. But remember that our morning lows on Saturday will be the coldest, actual temperatures below 0, the wind chill 10 to 20 below. So if you've got to be outside Saturday morning, bundle up, add the layers, make sure the car is warming up, things like that, and you're ready to go. before we'll warm up, and the warmer weather will be here to stay for a little bit longer through next week and especially late next week. But until next time, we hope everyone has a great Thursday evening, and we'll do this again tomorrow night.
1011 News is everywhere. Download our smart TV apps and follow us on social media at 1011 News.